Someone disrespects you, your face heats up. Your mind races with things you want to say, sharp words that would put them in their place. But you hold back, not because you're weak, but because you know confrontation will only make things worse. It will drain you, create enemies, turn a moment into a war, and later, alone, you wonder, what should I have done? How do I protect myself without starting a fight I don't want? Here's what most people don't understand. Confrontation isn't the only path to self-respect. In fact, sometimes it's the weakest one. The most powerful responses to disrespect often require no argument, no raised voice, no direct conflict at all. They're quieter, more strategic, and far more effective. This isn't about being passive or letting people walk over you. It's about being intentional, protecting your dignity without creating unnecessary chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Today, I'll show you 7 powerful ways to handle disrespect without confrontation. Strategies that protect your peace while commanding respect. Number 5 is the one most people underestimate, but it shifts everything without you saying a single word. By the end, you'll know exactly how to respond to disrespect in a way that keeps your power intact. Stay with me. Number 1, respond with delayed silence. The most unsettling response to disrespect isn't a comeback, it's silence, held just long enough to make them wonder what you're thinking. You've felt that pressure before. Someone says something disrespectful, and everything in you wants to respond immediately. Fire back, defend yourself, prove them wrong right there. Your brain scrambles for the perfect words while your emotions push you to say something, anything. But here's what happens when you react instantly. You give them exactly what they wanted. A reaction, proof that their words landed, evidence that they got under your skin. What if you did the opposite? What if you gave them nothing? I watched this happen at a dinner party once. A man named Victor was sharing a thought when someone interrupted with a dismissive remark. "No offense, but you clearly don't know what you're talking about." The table went quiet. Everyone expected Victor to defend himself or fire back with something sharp. Instead, Victor paused. He looked at the person calmly, not angry, not hurt, just still. He let 3 full seconds of silence fill the space. Silence so complete you could hear the air conditioning. Then, without acknowledging the comment at all, Victor turned to someone else and continued his original thought as if nothing had happened. He never addressed the disrespect. He didn't need to. That silence, that complete refusal to engage, communicated everything. It said, "Your words don't deserve my energy. You don't have the power to derail me." The person who interrupted looked awkward for the rest of the evening. Victor looked untouchable, and he never said a single word about it. Here's why this works. Disrespect is almost always a bid for power. They want to see you rattled. They want a reaction, any reaction, because that reaction proves they have influence over your emotional state. When you respond with calm, deliberate silence, you deny them that proof. You show them their words have no effect. You refuse to play the game they started, and that refusal is deeply unsettling because they don't know what to do with it. The pause also creates uncertainty. They don't know if you're angry, amused, or simply unbothered. That mystery is uncomfortable for them, and discomfort is exactly what they deserve. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Silence is a reaction, often the most powerful one. It says, "I choose not to give this moment the energy it's asking for. You've probably reacted too fast before, said something you regretted." Let emotion speak when logic should have led. Most people have. Next time someone disrespects you, resist the immediate urge to respond. Pause, breathe. Let the silence stretch just a moment longer than comfortable. Then continue as if nothing happened, or respond later on your own terms, not theirs. Silence denies them the reaction they wanted. But the next method goes further. It removes their access to you entirely. Number 2, quietly reduce your availability. You don't have to announce that someone has lost your respect. You just have to quietly become less available and let them feel the difference. You've probably struggled with this before. Someone disrespects you and you don't want to create drama. You don't want a confrontation. But you also can't pretend nothing happened. You can't keep showing up the same way for someone who treats you poorly. So what do? You withdraw, slowly, quietly, without explanation. Shorter responses, fewer invitations accepted, less energy given, less presence offered. You don't announce it. You don't explain it. You just gradually become less available to them. And they will notice. There was a woman named Diana who had a friend who consistently made dismissive comments about her choices, small jabs about her career, condescending remarks about her relationship. Comments that were just cutting enough to sting, but subtle enough to deny if confronted. Diana never said anything, but the disrespect was building up inside her. One day, she decided to stop engaging the way she used to. She didn't confront her friend, didn't create a dramatic scene. She just quietly pulled back. Texts got shorter, invitations were politely declined, calls went unreturned for longer. She was always pleasant when they did interact, but those interactions became fewer and further between. Within weeks, the friend noticed something had shifted. She started reaching out more often, asked if everything was okay, tried to reconnect with an energy she'd never shown before. Diana didn't explain anything, didn't bring up the disrespect, just maintained her distance with calm consistency. The friend eventually got the message, without Diana ever having to spell it out. The absence of her warmth communicated what a confrontation never could have. Here's why this works. People often don't value your presence until they feel its absence. When you quietly withdraw your availability, you're not punishing them, you're protecting yourself. And that protection has a natural consequence. They feel what they've lost. This approach avoids the drama of confrontation while still communicating that behavior has consequences. You're not explaining or defending yourself. You're simply redirecting your energy toward people who actually deserve it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you reduce availability without explanation, their imagination does the work. They wonder, they reflect. Often, they realize what they did, without you having to teach them like a child. You've probably stayed available to people who didn't deserve it, kept showing up for those who consistently showed you disrespect. Let patterns continue because confrontation felt harder than tolerance. Most people have. If someone consistently disrespects you, you don't owe them a confrontation. Just start giving less time, less energy, less access. Let your absence teach them what your presence was worth. If you've learned that your absence can say more than any words ever could, type "My presence is earned" below, to remind yourself and others that not everyone deserves access to you. Reducing availability protects your energy, but the next method focuses on something equally powerful: controlling what you share with them. Number 3, limit what you share with them. Not everyone deserves to know what's happening in your life. When someone disrespects you, one of the smartest responses is simply closing the door to your inner world without ever announcing you're doing it. You've made this mistake before. You shared something personal with someone you thought you could trust, your plans, your struggles, your hopes. And later, you watched them use that information carelessly, or worse, against you. You gave them access to your inner world, and they didn't treat it with the respect it deserved. Here's the lesson. Some people don't earn the privilege of knowing the real you, and after someone disrespects you, they've shown you exactly what they deserve, the surface, nothing more. Let me tell you about a man named Samuel. He had a colleague who seemed friendly enough at first. They'd chat during breaks, share updates about their work. Samuel even opened up about some of his bigger career goals, things he hadn't told many people. Then Samuel noticed a pattern. This colleague would take information Samuel shared and use it in subtle ways, mentioned Samuel's ambitions in meetings in a way that made him look naive, shared Samuel's struggles with others when it made for interesting gossip, twisted small details to make himself look better by comparison. Samuel never confronted him. He didn't want the drama. Instead, he simply stopped sharing. When the colleague asked about his projects, Samuel gave vague answers. Going fine. When he asked about personal life, Samuel changed the subject. Conversations became polite but empty, surface-level exchanges that revealed nothing real. The colleague kept trying to dig, but there was nothing to find anymore. Samuel had quietly built a wall that protected everything important while maintaining the appearance of normal, pleasant interaction. No conflict, no drama, just information control. Here's why this is so powerful. When you share with someone, you give them influence. Influence to support you or to use what they know against you. When someone has shown they'll misuse that influence, the wisest response is simply revoking their access. This isn't about becoming cold with everyone, it's about becoming selective. Some people earn the right to know your depths through how they treat you. Others have proven they should only ever see the surface. Epictetus said, "Keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must, and then briefly." Not everyone needs to hear your thoughts, especially those who've shown they won't handle them with care. You've probably shared too much with the wrong people before, trusted someone with your plans, and watched them misuse that trust. Given access to people who used it against you. Most people have. After disrespect, audit what you share with that person. Stop volunteering information. Keep answers short and general. Let them have access only to what you'd share with a stranger. Protect your inner world for those who've actually earned it. Limiting information protects you from within. But the next method shows how to respond to disrespect in the moment, with something they never expect. Number 4, respond with unexpected calm. They expect you rattled. They expect you defensive. What they don't expect and can't handle is complete, unshakable calm. You've felt that heat rise before. Someone says something disrespectful, and your body reacts before your mind catches up. Your jaw tightens. Your heart pounds. Everything in you wants to fire back, defend yourself, prove them wrong. But here's what happens when you do. You give them power. You show them their words landed exactly where they aimed. You become reactive, and reactive people are easy to control. What if instead you responded with something they never saw coming? Perfect calm, complete composure. As if they just commented on the weather instead of trying to diminish you. I'll never forget watching a woman named Rebecca handle a brutal moment. At a family gathering, a relative made a cutting remark about her career choices, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Still doing that little job of yours? When are you going to do something real with your life?" The room went quiet. Everyone waited to see how Rebecca would react. The comment was designed to embarrass her, to put her on the defensive in front of people whose opinions mattered. Rebecca didn't flinch. She smiled slightly, took a slow sip of her drink, let a moment of silence pass, then said with complete calm, "I love what I do. So how's your garden coming along?" That was it. No defense, no explanation, no sign that the insult had landed at all. Just unbothered calm followed by a casual subject change. The relative looked confused, thrown off. The power play had failed completely. Rebecca's composure had absorbed the attack like it was nothing, and everyone in that room noticed. Here's why this works. Disrespect is designed to destabilize you. When you remain completely calm, you show that their words have no power over your emotional state. You refuse to be destabilized, and that refusal is deeply unsettling for the person who tried to shake you. They threw something at you and watched it fall flat. They expected impact and got nothing. That absence of reaction often affects them far more than any sharp comeback ever would. because now they're the ones feeling off balance, not you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Your calm is proof of that power. When nothing external can shake your internal state, you've mastered something most people never will. You've probably let someone's words rattle you when you wished you'd stayed composed, reacted emotionally when calm would have served you better, shown more than you wanted to show. Most people have. Practice staying calm in small moments so it becomes natural in big ones. When disrespected, breathe before responding. Keep your voice level. Keep your expression neutral. Let your composure be the only response they receive. If you're learning that calm is the ultimate power move, hit subscribe. We're building unshakable together. Unexpected calm absorbs their attack completely. But the next method takes something away from them, something they didn't realize they could lose. Number 5, withdraw your emotional investment. This is the method most people underestimate, but it shifts everything without you saying a single word. When someone disrespects you, stop caring about what they think. They'll feel the difference immediately. You've given this power away before. You cared about someone's opinion. You wanted their approval. Their respect mattered to you. And when they disrespected you, it hurt, because you were emotionally invested in what they thought. But here's what happens when you quietly withdraw that investment. When you stop caring about their perception of you. When their opinion genuinely stops mattering. The dynamic shifts completely, and you didn't have to say anything at all. Picture this. A man named Andrew had a friend whose opinion he'd always valued. They'd known each other for years. Andrew would ask for his input on decisions, share his wins, hoping for recognition, care what this friend thought about his choices. The friendship mattered to him. Then the friend made a series of disrespectful comments in front of others. Dismissive remarks about Andrew's work, condescending jokes about his goals, small cuts that added up to something painful. Andrew didn't confront him, didn't argue. He just quietly stopped caring. Before, he'd text first to make plans. Now he waited. Before, he'd share his thoughts and want feedback. Now he kept things surface level. Before, he genuinely cared what this friend thought of his decisions. Now, honestly, he didn't anymore. The shift was internal first. Andrew simply decided this person's opinion no longer held weight in his life. But the friend felt it. He started trying harder, reaching out more, complimenting Andrew's work, something he'd rarely done before, asking questions about his life with a new kind of interest. Andrew was always polite, always pleasant, but his emotional investment was gone, not out of anger or spite. He'd simply reallocated that energy to people who actually deserved it. And the friend, sensing he'd lost something valuable, never quite understood what had changed. He just knew things felt different now. Here's why this is so powerful. Emotional investment is something people feel from you. They sense when you care about their opinion, when you value their approval, when you're invested in what they think. When you withdraw that investment, there's a void they can feel even if they can't name it. The loss of your caring, the absence of your emotional energy directed at them, is often more impactful than any confrontation could ever be. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Your emotional energy is precious. Stop spending it on people who don't value you. Redirect it toward those who do. You've probably invested emotionally in people who didn't deserve it, cared too much about opinions that didn't matter, given weight to perspectives that only brought you down. Most people have. After disrespect, consciously release your investment. Stop hoping they'll change. Stop caring about their opinion. Stop giving them mental space. It's not revenge, it's redirection. Withdrawing investment removes their influence over you. But the next method focuses on what you build instead, something they can't ignore. Number 6, Let your success be your response. The most powerful response to disrespect isn't delivered in the moment. It's built over time, through a life so undeniable that their words become completely irrelevant. You've felt that urge before. Someone disrespects you, and everything in you wants to prove them wrong right there. Argue your worth. Defend your choices. Make them see they're mistaken about you. But here's the truth. Some people won't change their minds no matter what you say. No argument will shift their perception. No defense will earn their respect. Trying to convince them is like shouting at a wall, exhausting and pointless. So what do? You stop trying to convince them with words, and you start answering with your life. There was a woman named Priya who was constantly dismissed by people who thought she wouldn't amount to much. At work, a manager once said in front of the whole team, "Don't worry about giving her anything important. She's not quite ready for real responsibility." The words stung. Priya felt her face flush with embarrassment and anger. She wanted to argue, wanted to list her qualifications, wanted to prove right there that she was capable of more than anyone realized. Instead, she said nothing. She just went back to work. But something changed inside her that day. She stopped trying to change their perception through conversation. She decided to change it through results. She worked, quietly, relentlessly, poured every ounce of energy that could have gone into arguments into building her skills, her reputation, her undeniable track record. 3 years later, Priya led her own department. The manager who dismissed her had moved on, but occasionally Priya would cross paths with people from that old team, people who remembered what was said about her. She never brought it up, never said "I told you so," never pointed to her success as proof they were wrong. She didn't need to. Her position said everything. Her results were the only response that mattered. Here's the truth about disrespect. In the moment, it feels urgent, like you need to respond right now or lose something important. But most of the time, the moment doesn't matter. What matters is the trajectory. When you channel the energy of disrespect into building something undeniable, you're playing a longer game. You're not trying to win the conversation, you're winning the years. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Don't become bitter or petty. Become better. Become successful. Become someone whose life answers every doubt anyone ever had about you. You've probably wasted energy arguing with people who weren't worth the breath, defended yourself to those who didn't deserve explanations. Let disrespect drain you when it could have fueled you. Most people have. When disrespected, ask yourself, will arguing change anything? Or would that energy be better invested in my growth? Build something. Achieve something. Let your results be your response. If you believe your growth is the best answer to doubt, hit subscribe. We're building something undeniable together. Success speaks over time. But the final method is about something you can do right now, a decision that protects you completely. Number 7, choose who gets access to your energy. The most powerful response to disrespect isn't something you say to them, it's something you decide for yourself. You decide who deserves your energy, and some people simply don't. You've given too much to the wrong people before. Time to those who wasted it. Attention to those who didn't value it. Emotional energy to those who only drained it. You kept showing up for people who showed you again and again that they didn't deserve your presence. And it cost you, not just in frustration, but in the energy you could have invested in people who actually mattered. Here's the deepest truth about disrespect. You can't control how people treat you, but you can absolutely control who gets to be close to you. And that choice, that conscious decision about where your energy goes, is the ultimate form of self-respect. I watched this transform a man named Eric's entire life. For years, he tolerated disrespect from certain people, family members who criticized everything he did, old friends who made him the punchline of jokes, colleagues who dismissed his contributions. He absorbed it all because he felt obligated to maintain the relationships, because cutting people off felt extreme, because he didn't want to be seen as difficult. But the cost was enormous. Every interaction with these people left him drained. Every gathering left him questioning himself. He was pouring his best energy into relationships that gave nothing back and had nothing left for the people who actually valued him. One day, Eric made a simple decision. His energy was finite, and he would give it only to people who deserved it. He didn't announce this, didn't create confrontations, just started making different choices. He spent more time with people who respected him, accepted fewer invitations from those who didn't, stopped giving his best to people who only gave him their worst. Within a year, his life felt completely different. Not because anything dramatic had changed externally, but because he'd consciously chosen what and who got access to him. The disrespectful people were still out there. Here's the ultimate truth. Every moment you spend on someone who disrespects you is a moment you're not spending on someone who values you. Every bit of emotional investment in someone who diminishes you is energy stolen from relationships that would actually nourish you. Choosing who gets your energy isn't passive. It's not avoiding conflict. It's the most active form of self-respect there is. Epictetus taught, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond." The deepest response to disrespect isn't about them at all. It's about protecting your peace by being intentional about who has access to it. You've probably given access to people who didn't earn it, kept doors open that should have been closed, let energy flow to places that only drained you. Most people have. Audit your relationships. Who energizes you? Who drains you? Start making conscious choices about where your time and emotional investment go. You don't need to explain. You don't need to announce. Just choose, and let that choice protect your peace. 7 ways to handle disrespect without confrontation. Respond with delayed silence. Quietly reduce your availability. Limit what you share with them. Respond with unexpected calm. Withdraw your emotional investment. Let your success be your response. And choose who gets access to your energy. If this helped you see that protecting yourself doesn't require conflict, subscribe. We're building wisdom together. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You don't need to fight everyone who disrespects you. You just need to protect yourself wisely and invest your energy where it's actually valued. Your peace is your power,